Good morning, everybody. Laura Whitmore here, owner of Strategic Test Prep, and I am on my way to go take the March SAT test. You're probably wondering why I'm taking the SAT test. I mean, I'm not going to college. I've already done that. But, as a test prep instructor, it's really important for me to go into the test and see the latest trends and be able to talk to my students after the test and offer them support. So I really like to go into any test that I'm allowed to take just so that I can stay up on my skills and just stay up on this ever moving target that is the test. Because as you guys know, this test is constantly changing and constantly evolving. Now, for you digital people, as I'm filming this, you're probably done with your digital SAT. So congratulations. I am so interested to hear from you guys how it went. I actually have a bunch of questions for you if you don't mind commenting below for me. Like, how much scrap paper did they give you? Did you get your score back instantaneously, or did they tell you when you're going to get your score back? When you do get your score back, will you be able to see all of the questions on collegeboard.org? Did you have to order and pay for access to all of the questions? Kind of like how you have to pay, $16 for a QAS report for the paper test. Did you feel like the test was on the same level of difficulty as the practices, or was it harder or easier? And what was the environment like in your test? Do they provide you with noise cancellation headphones? So yeah, just as a reminder to all of you guys, I'm going to let you know generally how I felt about this test after it's done, but we can't talk specifics yet because College Board is very stringent with that. So please don't comment asking about a specific question for me. I will not be able to answer that for you. Just keep it vague, because once College Board releases the questions in a couple of weeks, then we can actually talk about the test specifically. And I plan on doing a couple walkthrough videos of the test, so stick around and look out for that. All right, if I keep talking, I'm going to be late to this test, so let's get going. And of course, this video is brought to you by Prepley, the fun new digital SAT prep app that has hundreds of brand new digital SAT questions in both English and math that are just like those on the digital SAT. Because let's face it, guys, there definitely is not enough new questions released for the digital SAT to prep from. So you can actually get a free 3-day trial if you sign up for a weekly subscription. So head over to the App Store or Google Play today so you can download it and test it out. Also, if you are taking the paper-based test this year and you don't really feel so hot about this March SAT, I would definitely recommend you take another test and sign up for my 6-week self-paced course while you're at it. It is a structured game plan to help you gain mastery of this test, and it's exactly the same structure that I use for my in-person classes. So I will link that up above and down in the description so that you can sign up for that today. You have plenty of time to complete the entire course before the May SAT. Lastly, if you're new to my channel or if you're returning and you have yet to subscribe, make sure you hit that subscribe button below it. You'll burn like 2 calories. It's super easy to do. And then that way you won't miss out on future content from me, because I'm going to keep coming this year, guys, with videos to help you get your best score on the SAT in 2023. All right, guys, so I just got out of the test, and let me just kind of give you a rundown on my thoughts. First, it was kind of funny. I went in there and some of the students recognized me. They were like, "Oh, we watched your YouTube video last night," which was pretty funny. I kind of feel like, I don't know, it was cool. It was cool to be recognized for what I'm doing on YouTube. But anyways, I thought that the reading section was very fair, and it was literally like best case scenario for me. I was really hoping for an old hug slug. I found that the passages were all pretty interesting. I really like outer space, and the science one had to do with supernovas. So overall, I felt like the reading was pretty good. There might have been a couple where I wasn't like 100% and I dotted and I didn't get to go back to, but I did change a couple of my answers on a double, and I'm so glad I did. I caught that before time ran out. So I'm feeling really, really good about the reading section. The writing section was also pretty good. It was pretty standard. I feel like towards the end, it got a little tricky. You had to kind of incorporate a little reading comprehension to get a couple of those writing questions right. So I actually had to go back and read the one about the horses a little bit closer and ended up changing an answer there. On the math, oh my gosh, you guys, the math was awesome. I'm so happy. I wanted section 3 to be harder than 4, and I think that it was. And literally, as I was going through these sections, I was like, yes, I taught all my students this stuff. They were fully prepared. And it showed too, because after the test, my students on the way out, they looked happy. They looked confident. They said they think that it went well. So that was really awesome to see that I prepped them to the best of my ability and that they were fully ready for the math especially. And I will say, like, I felt so good after this test. I really do feel like I'm in a place of mastery of this test. I feel really good about, my comprehension and understanding of this test. I really do feel like an expert. So it just like solidified to me that it's time to move into the next step, the digital SAT, and start over and learn how to master a whole new test. So speaking of the digital SAT, I can't wait to hear from you guys that are international, how it went. I got an email from one of my digital SAT students who is international. He actually had to take a plane, you guys, to Helsinki. He lives in Finland because the trains were on strike. So he had to book a flight a couple days ago. But anyways, he sent me an email. He said that, he doesn't want to put his expectations too high, but he thinks it went really well. So that's really good news. Now, not to rain on everybody's parade, but if you felt like this test went really well, that could mean that the curve is going to be a little bit harsher than other curves. So I'll be interested to see how the scoring pans out for this, because if everybody feels like they did pretty well, it's going to be harder to get a perfect score or get a higher score because you can only miss less. You've got less wiggle room. But anyways, just make sure you don't discuss specifics yet with me. Keep everything vague, you guys. We're not allowed to discuss specific questions until the questions are released. So in a couple weeks, once those questions are released, I'll do some walkthroughs. Congrats on being done, and I'll see you guys again soon. I think I need a nap.